What's up guys, it's Mike Thurston here, and today's video is all about eccentric training and how I incorporate some eccentric training methods into my biceps and triceps routine. Now, the key thing you need to understand is with eccentric training, you're putting a lot of emphasis on only the eccentric portion of the movement, which is the lengthening of the muscle. The concentric phase is the shortening. So basically, when people talk about training to failure, they mean that they can no longer continue to lift the weight in the concentric phase. They have reached concentric failure. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that they've reached eccentric failure to the point where they can no longer control the negative portion of the movement with that same weight. Now, most of the time you'll reach concentric failure first, then isometric failure, so you can't hold the weight in a single static position, and then you reach finally eccentric failure. So what we're trying to do is put a lot of emphasis on the eccentric portion of the movement. Now, the first exercise I'm going to do is the preacher curl using the easy bar. What I would recommend is picking a eccentric portion of 4 to 6 seconds. So pick a weight which allows you to do maybe 8 to 10 reps of this 4 to 6 second negative rep range. And you're going to get your training partner to lift the weight up on the concentric phase. So you're not doing any concentric portion of the movement yourself, you're just focusing on the eccentric phase. The next exercise I'm going to show you is the negative portion of the easy bar skull crush. Now, the problem with this is you're not exactly locked in position like you were with the preacher curls. So even I found this one difficult, just to keep my form fixed, to keep my elbows fixed in position and not to allow any excessive momentum being created. So this one's tough. Definitely only try this for the more advanced trainers. The next exercise I'm going to show you is just a concentration curl. Again, get yourself locked into position, ideally on a bench, or you can do it on the preacher curl bench as well, but with this bench it's at a slightly different angle. So I'm going to try it again. I was only doing 4 second negatives with this. You could do 6 second negatives if you want to, but obviously the longer the negatives, the less the weight you'll be able to do, or the lower the number of reps which you're going to aim for. So with this one, again, I'm just slowly going to lower it, sticking to that 4 to 5 second negative. Training partner's going to lift the dumbbell up. I'm going to go for the desired number of reps.
LAB.
The next exercise was the close grip bench press, just doing the eccentric portion of the movement. So I'm picking a weight which is pretty heavy for me to do on the concentric phase. So I think this was 120 kilograms. And I'm trying to hit that 4 to 5 second negative once again. And this one you really have to have faith in your training partner, because when he's lifting the weight up, he has to equally lift it up from the right side and the left side. Okay, if he pulls too much with the right side, you're going to be wobbling all over the place. So have faith in your training partner when doing this. Next exercise I did is the eccentric chin-ups. Now, these are absolutely disgusting, there's no other word for it. I also found I get an absolutely massive pump on my forearms when doing this. Now, because we're doing it in a biceps and triceps routine, the emphasis is on the biceps. So I'm not trying to get too much retraction and movement in the shoulders, keeping everything fixed and just trying to bend at the elbows. So with this one, it's just a test of how well you are at dealing with being uncomfortable, because it's disgusting. Okay, so pick number of reps, whether it's 6 to 10. I would advise you hit the negative between 4 and 6 seconds and just try your best. You know, you are going to find that it's going to get harder and harder to stick to that tempo, but do it as best you can. The final exercise I did was dips. Now you could do this weighted with a weight in between your knees or with a weighted belt. And again, I'm going to go through a 4 to 5 second negative phase of the movement, and I'm just going to push myself up with my feet at the bottom. So no training partner involved with this one. I'm just going to kick back up with my feet into the starting position and slowly lower myself down, placing emphasis on the triceps, not so much on the chest. So I'm keeping upright and only really trying to bend at the elbows. So there you go, guys, there's a few ideas for you to possibly implement into your own training regime. But like I said before, if you're a beginner or intermediate trainer, it's something I probably would avoid until you've got a few more months or even years of training under your belt. And like I said, only do this kind of thing if you have full faith in your training partner, otherwise you're just going to screw yourself up. And I'm going to put a little bit more information in the description box, like I said before, just so you know the basic principles of eccentric training, how you can implement it into your training regime. But that's that. Like I said, I did that full thing in one session. You could argue it may be a little bit of overkill because I felt as though I'd just trained legs after that session. I was absolutely destroyed. So ease yourself into it. Don't do a full session of eccentric training because you'll kill yourself. Implement maybe an exercise or two here and there and see how that goes for you, okay? So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you've given yourself a few ideas for potential workouts you could do in the future. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and I'll see you soon.